You're listening to The Services Brief, part of Main Street Media. I'm Taylor. It's Monday, July 20, 2026. 3 stories across the service economy and what each one means for the owner. Start with a deadline that lands this very week. The temporary 10% tariff that's been sitting on a wide band of imported goods since the spring is set to expire this Friday, July 24th. And what replaces it isn't a clean rollback. It's a more complicated, country-by-country map of duties that could push your costs up or down depending on where your equipment and parts actually come from. Here's why that matters if you run a trade with employees. 91% of contractors say tariffs have already added to their costs this year. That's close to everybody. An HVAC owner buying condensers, a roofer buying steel and shingles, an auto shop buying imported parts. You've all been eating some version of this. And it's not finished. Among service firms that import, 47% say they plan to raise their own prices over the next year to cover it. So the concrete move this week is simple and time sensitive. Pull the 15 or 20 highest dollar items in your price book that come from overseas and find out from your supplier what happens to each one after Friday. If a key part is about to jump, get the pre-change pricing in writing now and update your quotes before you're the one absorbing the difference on a job you already sold. Second, the software that runs your shop just got a lot more aggressive about 2 jobs owners hate: answering the phone and setting the price. In the last 10 days, both big field service platforms shipped upgrades. ServiceTitan rolled out a voice agent dashboard on July 11th that shows you exactly how many calls its AI answered, how many it booked, and where it handed off to a human. Plus, Spanish language support and outbound AI that texts a new lead within seconds. Housecall Pro on July 15th launched trade-specific packages for HVAC, plumbing, and electrical that include real-time AI-driven pricing benchmarks on your pricebook items and membership plans your techs can sell right from the field. And Google is now testing AI that calls local shops on a homeowner's behalf to book the repair. What does this mean for an owner? 2 of your biggest leaks: the after-hours call that rolls to voicemail and the price book that's quietly out of date. Now, have off-the-shelf fixes. But don't rip out your front desk in the middle of the summer rush. The concrete move: switch on the AI booking agent for after hours and overflow calls only, where a stumble costs you nothing, and turn on the pricing benchmark to see how far your rates have drifted from your market. Save the full cut over for the fall when your team has room to learn it. Third, the money is coming for the trades, and the shape of it is worth knowing whatever you do. The home services roll-up hit a new gear this year. Apex Service Partners, a platform bundling HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, took a roughly $2 billion investment from Apollo at about a $10 billion valuation, and it now runs close to 300 businesses on around $1.3 billion in revenue after roughly 60 add-on deals last year alone. Champions Group sold to Blackstone back in February at $2.5 billion. There are now more than 25 active private equity platforms buying up contractors, and the pattern this year is multi-trade. HVAC plus plumbing plus electrical under one roof. So what does this mean if you own a single shop? A capital-backed operator can walk into your market and compete on scale you can't match head-on. Better supplier terms, national recruiting, a back office you'd have to hire 6 people to run. But those platforms are paying 17 to 20 times earnings, which means your business is very likely worth more than you think. The concrete move: get a real read on what your shop would sell for today and decide on purpose whether you're a buyer, a seller, or a defender. Because sitting still while the roll-up reaches your zip code is the one choice that costs you either way. That's it for Monday. Find all of Main Street Media's shows wherever you listen. Subscribe, leave a review, and I'll see you Friday for the Business Spotlight.